here is land. No, this is actually a river, isn't it? Yeah, it is. But this is how high it is. Never this high. We got a little walk, Dad, so we gotta... It's cold too. It's snowing. I don't know if you know if can. Hello.
A little over 3 years ago, about the same time I started this channel, we took my oldest daughter Anna to college.
So here we are in Kentucky. We're about an hour away from Union College. My baby girl is leaving home.
Honestly, it feels like a lifetime ago. Since then, we've moved from Chattanooga, Tennessee to Harrisonburg, Virginia, and yes, this channel's come a long way too. Anna chose Union College because it's an amazing college. If you want to know Anna's reason for choosing Union College in Barbourville, Kentucky, and if you want to see one of my early cringe videos, you can click on the top right-hand corner of your screen now. Don't get me wrong, most of my videos are cringe, thank you very much, but during those early months, well, yeah, we've come a long way. But Anna, she's done an amazing job at Union College. And while this isn't a video about a dad bragging on his daughter, well, I am a proud dad, and Anna is simply amazing. Carolyn and I are so very proud of you, Anna. This video is actually about the flooding in southeast Kentucky. The situation is not getting a lot of attention in the media. I guess people are too worried about missing handshakes or ripping up speeches. Are you triggered yet? Anyway, real news is happening right now, and people aren't paying a lot of attention, and they should be. This is pretty serious. Speaking of my daughter Anna, she happens to be in the middle of this mess, and it really is a mess.
These are fields, and then way back there, you can see there's like trash bins over there because it's still part of a park. All of this is completely underwater. And it's still flowing. Yeah, that's what Beth just said.
You know, I lived in Barbourville, Kentucky for 9 years. I loved the region then and I love it now. But now it floods in certain areas of this region every winter, but not like this. This is pretty bad. But it's not the first time this area has seen a severe flood. Back in February of 1957, the flood was so bad in this region that people were evacuated, and then entire communities lost communication with the outside world. Later, there was even food shortages, and making matters worse, drinking water became contaminated. Remember, this is 1957 and bottled water wasn't a thing. They couldn't even boil the water because most people were using gas stoves, and the flood affected the gas lines. 30 state and federal highways were blocked by floodwaters or mudslides, and most secondary roads were impassable due to heavy rains. Over 500 homes were destroyed and 9 people died.
But yes, this is what's going on. We'll probably go to somewhere else I want to show Beth in a minute, and I will show you more. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Then came the flood of 1977, and this time it was in April instead of February. It caused $175 million in damage, which is about $800 million in 2020. 10 people lost their lives due to that flood. During the 1950s, Barbourville built a wall. No, not that kind of a wall, a flood wall. The Cumberland River crested at 45.91 feet, which was almost as high as that wall. So what do? You build a bigger wall, and that's what they did. But it took some time. You know, politics, money, debates, all that stuff. But by 1984, the citizens of Barbourville had a complete flood wall, floodgates, and in 1986, they completed a diversion channel that moves the water away from town.
This is one of the floodgates. This, Dad, all of this is over 12 feet under. That is a chicken coop. That is someone's house. All over here, I don't know if you can see this. I don't want to roll my window down because it's snowing. But all of this is a park. All of that. There's a basketball goal down there. A shed completely under. All these people's houses, yeah, they literally can't leave.
Wait, where's that truck going?
Yeah, I want to know how. Completely underwater. There's a house right there underwater.
And it just so happens that the flood walls were inspected recently, and thankfully they all passed a federal inspection. This saved property owners around the flood wall a lot of money. See, if the flood wall failed the inspection, then insurance premiums would skyrocket. By the way, those floodgates open and close, and since their construction, they've never been closed. Okay, honestly, I don't know if that means never ever, or maybe they've closed them for inspection or something. I honestly don't know.
So it's all closed off. You have to park your car and walk. This is the flood wall. Oh, goodness, stop. Look at my new shoes. I got new shoes.
And in full disclosure, I'm not exactly sure I have the history exactly right. See, there were flood walls built in the 1950s, and then you have the flood of 1977, but in preparing this video, I got a little confused on which flood walls were built when and where around Barbourville. So listen, if you're from that neck of the woods, as we would say in Barbourville, and know more about the history of Barbourville's flood walls, let me know about it in the comments. I'm curious. So yeah, it's the Cumberland River that causes this headache, that and a lot of rain. So here's a little bit about the Cumberland River. It begins in Harlan County, Kentucky, which is right in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains. From there, it flows west until it joins the Ohio River. So now you know. Here's the current situation in February of 2020. We're looking for flood categories in feet. At 27 feet, it's officially a flood. At 33 feet, it's a moderate flood. But at 38 feet, it's considered a major flood. And right now, it's just under 40, which means, well, you're seeing it now. Now listen, I'm not an engineer, but I've always wondered why they didn't use the mighty Cumberland River as a power source and build dams and lakes. I mean, the Tennessee Valley Authority, or TVA, put a stop to catastrophic flooding all over the Deep South. It seems like it would be better than flood walls. If you have some insight on that, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. This week, a lot more rain and even snow is expected in Barbourville and around the region. So I have an idea. Instead of worrying or getting mad about handshakes and speech ripping, let's say a prayer for the wonderful people in southeastern Kentucky. They can use it. They're people just like us, and they're having a hard time. Hey, I want to thank my amazing daughter Anna for providing some amazing video. We are so proud of you.